Uh,
We had a great third day at IFA Copenhagen Congress, and two important topics that got discussed today were on the automatic exchange of information and enhanced cooperation between the revenue officers. And the second important topic that got discussed today is the profit methods under the arm's length condition. We have Shefali from BMR who will summarize the day's proceedings and her take on what happened and what discussed today.
Thank you, Ameya. It was an interesting session. Exchange of information is another hot topic, which is at the center of discussions in most countries now. And while in India we are just beginning to see the starting of it, where there is some request made under the exchange of information agreements that India has now been entering into with several countries, it is still at a very, very nascent stage. Uh, in the rest of the world, there is already the discussion about making the automatic information exchange more of a standard. And it remains to be seen when will India follow the suit. Uh, it has its own challenges too, as for before a country can commit to an automatic information exchange, they need to have their own laws strengthened in terms of confidentiality and data privacy laws, etc. So we will have some challenges on hand, but at least it seems that the rest of the world is committed and is moving towards the automatic information exchange.
Right. And the second important topic discussed on the arm's length and profit methods in the Indian context, given the extent of disputes that are happening, this issue is also relevant. Your comments on that as well?
So there is a debate on the people functions and appropriateness of arm's length principle. The general consensus still is that while it is not adequate, but that seems more of a reliable way to assess transfer pricing. And it is acknowledged that yes, there are shortcomings in the form of non-availability of comparables. But at least there doesn't seem to be a promising option yet. So while there are debates about other methods, but still arm's length principle seems to be at the top of the list.
Right. And one last question on the exchange of information. In your experience, do you see the exchange of information clauses being effectively and aggressively used by the Indian revenue, and how do you see that will impact the tax scenario in India?
So again, as I said, this is very, very new to India. Uh, it is known that yes, the tax authorities do make attempts to gather information. I don't think there is as much of success that they have seen yet, because the taxpayers are not willing to cooperate much. And even if they are willing to cooperate and give consent or give no objections, for them to get the information from the intermediaries or from the other governments, it is proving to be a challenge.
Right.
So I think we'll need to wait a while before we can really see some success on that. Thank you.
Right. We have special guest Mr. Rajesh Ramloll. Rajesh is a president at IFA Mauritius. Rajesh, would be useful to have your views on exchange of information, and especially in the context of Mauritius, how it pans out.
Thank you, Ameya. The topics today were very interesting, and I must say that since this work has started in 2009, I must say, I'm surprised the way how fast these things have been moving. And from, I won't say Mauritius, but all small countries, all small jurisdictions will have to face a challenge in trying to implement that. Now, as Shefali has pointed out, you have first to have the proper legal framework, and that takes time to be set up. But then the implementation is even more challenging. You need not only to have certain rules about confidentiality, which are legal issues, but the issue of implementation is about the proper IT solution for that. And that is something which is going to be a cost issue for authorities, but also in terms of intermediate financial institutions like banks, insurance companies. Just imagine the issue of cost compliance in that. The figures which was mentioned this afternoon is about like $10 per account, and that is a lot of money. And I get the impression that everything is going to be modeled on the EU Savings Directive, which the EU, apply among their own countries, but that is going to become the standard. Now, would that be something which is going to be easy for the rest of the world to implement? Is a big question, is the challenge of the day. And how small countries like Mauritius and other jurisdictions, which are small jurisdictions, will comply with that is a issue of capacity building, because you've got to train people to understand how to use those softwares or whatever IT solution which you need.
Right. Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you so much.
Thank you.